Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to...
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone, but do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are going to be talking about important concept that is probably more important than what it should be, but it needs to be discussed, y'all. We're going to be talking about why women think men are creeps, okay? Why women think men are creeps. This is a very important situation that needs to be talked about. Shouldn't have to. Shouldn't have to. But we're going to do what needs to be done at the end of the day, y'all. Why women think men are creeps. Now, before I go too far into this, first I want to give props where props is due. You know, I got people who help in a great deal at this particular channel. We have people who financially contribute to the channel, and they make things so much better. And they help me do this the way I do it. And I appreciate every single one of them. There's no contribution too big. There's no contribution too small. I do appreciate it all. So shout out to Jay Moore. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to the brother. Shout out to the brother. All right. Been rocking with me for a good period of time, and I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Jay Moore. He is the sponsor of today's stream. And I'm gonna give some shout outs on the people who check in, because when you get something started, it's always good to see you got people checking in with you. Okay, always great to see. But y'all know how it goes down here at the Roger Report Live. There can only be one, and that one today, y'all. If you don't know what it is, we have the Highlander of today's stream, my main man, Tunnel Runner is the Highlander of today's trend. So shout out to that brother. Shout out to that brother. Appreciate you big time, brother. Appreciate you big time. Let me also give a few shout outs to some of the first people to check in. Shout out to Mr. Suge to you. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. He is representing for the pit crew who always got my back. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you here. We got Computer Geek in the building. Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. Inspired Truth Broadcasters here. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. My main man, Floyd Thompson, is in the building. Yay, yay. Good to have you, brother. Good to have you. Afro Merchant is in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. And my main man who helps with the pit crew, keeps it all together, Chef Mike's Roundtable is in the building. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We got Sarah B in the house. Hey, Sarah. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. I'm listening to this here. Good to have you. Micah Watson. Micah Watson. What's going on, my brother? Great to see you. Great to see you. All right, y'all. And we going to get into it, y'all. A serious subject. Now, this shouldn't be as serious as it is, but it is a serious subject. I'm just saying it shouldn't be a serious subject. We got to deal with why women think men are creeps. And guys, okay, understand, why is not an excuse. Okay, a why is not an excuse. Do not accept a why as an excuse. All right? That's not how you make it happen in the world, man. A why is not an excuse. There's a why for everything. There is a reason for every single thing, which would be a why. But that don't mean it's a good thing, and that doesn't mean it's an acceptable thing. So a why is not an excuse. We just gonna talk about why women think men are creeps, but this is not an excuse. Okay? And some of these things are worse than what you would think. And like I said, we shouldn't have to do something like this, but unfortunately, things like this is necessary to be done. Okay? Things like this is definitely necessary to be done. All right? Now, there's a lot of women out there who act like men are creeps, and truth be told, a lot of them do it because they just want some attention. Okay? And let's just keep it real, y'all. A lot of women just want some attention. All right? Nobody's talking to them. Nobody's interested in them. They're not getting hellos the way they want to get hellos. You know, no one's asking them how they doing the way they think somebody should ask them how they doing. You know, a lot of women will go out and do certain things in packs. You know, they'll go out as a group of women. You know, certain women in the group will get far more attention than other women in the group, and sometimes people feel some type of way about that. You got to think about it, y'all. You go out with a group of women. You're a woman yourself. You go out with a group of women. All right, y'all go out on a Friday night. You go out on a Saturday night. You know, let's keep it easy. Let's say it's 4 of y'all. Okay, your friends work together or something. Where you get together, whatever. Your friends from somewhere. Okay. Now you go out with your friends. You watch your friends get hit on. Now, why are you watching your friends get hit on? Because there's always going to be a comparison amongst women. They're always going to look to see who's getting hit on the most. Okay? And a lot of times it's pretty clear who's the person who gets hits on the most. Now, it doesn't mean she's the only one that gets hits on, but she's going to get hit on. And sometimes you have women who are getting hit on far more than other women. Just is what it is. Or there's a one who seems like somebody always talking to her first. As a woman, this gets annoying. Okay? Women are humans too, y'all. Women are humans too. So this can be extremely annoying if you know that every time you go out, you know, that other girl gonna get hit on first. All right? I can't never go nowhere and the guys talk to me first. Okay? Guys will talk to me, but it seems like they gotta be talking to 2 other people for me to get somebody to hit on me. Or you got the one who it seems like all 3 of them got to be hit on for somebody to hit on you. That can be extremely annoying. All right. Now, to a woman, that's a bad thing. All right. To a woman, guys are wrong. All right. Guys are doing something negative to her. Now, is anything actually happening to her? Not at all. Not at all. Okay. But in her mind, she's being assaulted. Okay. And that's what guys got to realize. In her mind, she's being assaulted. The fact that it takes so much work for her to be hit on ain't working for her. Okay. Uh-oh. Shout out to J Dub, y'all. Shout out to J Dub. He says, good morning, / Grand Rising, Brother Roger, the chat, and my fellow mods. Today is my 48th birthday. Okay. Well, shout out to J Dub. Okay, he done did his first 48. Shout out to J Dub. I hope you have a happy birthday, my brother. Hey, I feel honored that you're spending at least some of that time with me. Shout out to J Dub. Y'all give it up for J Dub, who's having a birthday. Glad you made it one more year, brother. Glad you made it one more year. That is fantastic, man. That's fantastic. Real talk. That's fantastic. Shout out to you, brother. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Real talk. Congratulations and happy birthday. All right. All right. Glad to see J Dub spends a little bit of his birthday with us, y'all. That's an honor. That's an honor. So appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, y'all got to think about it. You that fourth woman that everybody got to be occupied with somebody else for somebody to talk to you. Now, if all of them look good, maybe who gets talked to fourth can change up a little bit here or there. But let's be realistic, y'all. A lot of times it's going to go pretty much in the same order. There's one woman going to get talked to first. The second woman to get talked to second. Usually the third woman going to get talked to third. And that fourth one going to get talked to when everybody else is preoccupied with another gentleman. That's how it goes. And you know what, y'all? Women see men as creeps after this. It's just that simple. Now, did men do anything wrong? No. They just talked to women who they thought were attractive enough to talk to. All right. Does that mean anybody's a creep? No, not at all. Okay. But do things like this make women think that men are creeps? I'm not going to say they make women think men are creeps, but women like to look at you as a creep for their own advancement. Okay. Some of the things women do ain't got nothing to do with men. And that's some men have yet to truly realize. Well, I think from a majority standpoint of black men, we've yet to realize a lot of stuff women do ain't got nothing to do with us. They are very much preoccupied amongst themselves. Has nothing to do with us at the end of the day. Okay. All right. And shout out to J Dub. He said at the Roger Report Live, love my beloved good brother, and it's a true honor to be here as well. Hey, man, I appreciate you saying that, brother. I appreciate you saying that. That's real talk. I appreciate you saying that, brother. But I'm grateful to have you as part of the fam over here, brother. I'm definitely grateful to have you as part of the fam. Real talk. Okay. Now, I got to say, a lot of women, they make decisions that truly have nothing to do with us as men. It's about what's going on in their own heads. But we believe it has something to do with us. So we make room for certain things that really shouldn't happen to happen. Okay. Now, is it our fault that some woman amongst their group is a lot more attractive than the other women? No, that's not men's fault. They formed their own group. We didn't form their group. They formed their group. They the ones that decide who's going to hang out with who. And there are some women who are clearly more attractive from a physical standpoint, and they're going to get talked to first. And then there's other women, they not be as physically attractive as the other women, but they clearly have a better attitude than the other women, and they're going to get talked to first. That's what they did. They had nothing to do with us, man. So they do think we're creeps because it takes too long for us to talk to them sometimes. All right. We ain't the ones that told y'all to go out together. Heck, truth be told, men would rather women be separated because it's easier to talk to a woman that you don't know when she's by herself than when she's with her friends. Because what do a lot of women do when they're with their friends? They start hating on the guy who's talking to the first lady. And I know in our minds, we're supposed to think that that's not going to happen. But because the women are crappy friends to each other, a lot of times, yeah, if you talk to one of the four, you talking to number one, 2, 3, and 4 gonna hate on you because you're not talking to them. Yo, women don't move like men do. Like we congratulate a brother for coming up on something. Yo, he part of our group. Oh, you got that? Okay, cool. Oh, she bad, Joe. I would have hollered at her too if I'd have seen her first. We do stuff like that. Women, on the other hand, the sisters, what they try to do is make sure you don't make her come up because they don't want to have to celebrate their friend. See, we as men, we sometimes thinking about us. Now, you hollering at number 1, 2, 3, and 4 gonna start hating on the situation because, again, nothing to do with you. It's just the fact that they weren't picked first. So they're gonna hate on 1 because they don't want to see 1 make the come up. Now, if they were picked as number 2, they'd be totally fine with you. But because you didn't approach them first, they got a problem with you hooking up with the friend because they don't like to celebrate each other in any meaningful way. I'm not gonna say they don't celebrate each other, but in a meaningful way, nah, they ain't too comfortable with that, y'all. They just not too comfortable with that. All right. I see you, Mr. Shirty. You I was gonna say I see. So women are going to have in their mind that men are creeps because they don't pick me first. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, y'all. There's a lot of women who believe men are creeps because they're not getting picked first. So they say men are creepy. Okay. Now I've heard a lot of women say a lot of dumb stuff, y'all. Yo, I've heard women say, well, men talk to me because they want to sleep with me. And I literally said, well, if he wants to sleep with you, why would he talk to me? Okay, is there any man that talks to a woman he don't want to sleep with? Well, all men ain't like that. Men, what do you mean by like that? Why do you believe men approach women that they don't want to sleep with? That makes no sense at all. Where everybody ain't looking for the same thing. So you telling me a guy who wants to marry a woman is trying to find a woman that he's not attracted to because he don't want to sleep with his wife? Is that what you're saying? A man looking for a wife don't want to have sex with his own wife. So he's looking for women that's not attracted to him. No, that's not what I'm saying. But that's what I'm hearing you saying. That is what you're saying. If you saying men don't want to sleep with you, you're telling me there's men looking for women, even if they're going to marry these women, that they are not attracted to and never want to sleep with. How does that make any sense at all? And every time I do that to a woman, she had like it's a brand new idea that she could not figure out on her own. Okay. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, shout out to Debonair brother. He said they don't find I'm saying he probably meant to say they don't find men to be creeps. They understand that creep undermines a man's social mobility and thus increases her power. It's a strategic, but it's strategic, but no, they don't actually believe it. Well, whether a woman believes it or not is more up in the air because I think you're right on that, Debonair brother. But I am dealing with the fact that there are some women who do think men are creeps. I'm not saying everybody's saying it believes it, but there are some women who think men are creeps. All right. Now, again, I think, well, I'm gonna say the women who are not getting picked fast enough, they do think men are creeps because women will have a negative feeling attached to something they don't like. And again, it cannot be their fault. So if it's 4 women who go out regularly together whoever's getting picked third and fourth, yeah, she thinks men are creeps because she don't get picked early enough. Now, does that have anything to do with men? No. That has something to do with her and who she decides to go out with. She wants to go out with a group where she's not the prettiest one. That's on her at the end of the day. She wants to go out with a group where she don't have the best attitude. That's on her at the end of the day. Could she do things to increases her chances with men? Oh, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, she could, but she didn't decide to do that. And that's on her at the end of the day. And this is something men really truly need to accept. What women choose to do is on them. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Okay, they ain't got nothing to do with us. Well, now I did look for a clip. I didn't see it. I didn't come across the clip. It seemed like there was some man at a grocery store who said something to a woman, and supposedly somehow it went crazy. I didn't see it. Maybe I'll find it in the future. But I've seen a lot of people talking about what happened to them when when men approached them, and I was specifically looking for certain stuff in the grocery store for some of it. So you got women who are being approached by men in the grocery store. Now you got women who take a bad attitude toward men approaching them at the grocery store. Now, why do women go to the club? Let's be realistic, y'all. Why women go to the club? Women go to the club so they can find a man who wants to have sex with them. That's what you do at the club. Who don't know this that actually goes to the club? Women go there so they can find men that want to sleep with them. All right. Now, you compare that to women who are at a grocery store, but they say, hey, I don't want to be talked to at the grocery store. So I can talk to you at the club where you know good and well the man is trying to find somebody to sleep with. You're trying to find somebody who wants to sleep with you. All that's going down at the club, and that's not an issue. But then women say, well, I need a man for something for more than just sex. But don't talk to me at the grocery store. Okay, don't talk to you at the grocery store. So I should only talk to you at the place where you go to find women to have sex with. That's the only place I should talk to you. Okay? Cause and it ain't just the grocery store. Women say it in a lot of different places. If you see a woman doing something, she ain't come for all that. So you can't holler at her if she at the DMV. Okay, you might be going to get your license renewed. You find somebody attractive, but don't talk to her while you at the DMV. Because she would rather you talk to her only at a place she goes to find men that want to have sex with her. Okay. All right. Don't talk to her at no other places. And y'all, it's a very convenient thing. Women will say, don't talk to me at all these other places. And you can name anything as the other place. It don't actually make a difference. Okay. You can name anything as the other place. They're going to say, well, I came there to do this and I came there to do that. But if you don't talk to the women at those other places, they're mad that they're not getting attention. And they just say, hey, you men are creeps because you're not talking to me, even though I tell y'all I don't want y'all talking to me. Now, let's keep it real, y'all. You do have some younger men who are, 20 years old and below. Okay. I'd even say 25 years old and below. Okay. And I hate to say it, but there's even some men that's 30 and below. They are absolutely terrified of talking to a woman in a cold approach. They think they have a they think it's a chance they might die if they talk to a woman. But you still hear women saying, y'all not approaches us. But the guys then start converting over to, I'm gonna try to holler at her in the DMs, or I'm gonna try to get on these dating websites and all that. And now they complain anybody trying to talk to them. Well, how come when I do this, nobody want to talk to me? How come I do that? Don't nobody want to talk to me? Look, a woman getting talked to is her problem, y'all. That's what men need to understand. A woman being talked to is her problem. Now, me personally, I'm gonna talk to a woman anywhere I want to, because I'm a grown man. It's that simple at the end of the day. If I want to holler at you there, that's where I'm hollering at you at. What women think about that means nothing to me. Yes, y'all, it means nothing to me. I'm the person providing her an opportunity to be a part of my life. If she is not smart enough to grab onto that opportunity, that is on her at the end of the day. It's that simple. Because as a man, you're going to end up taking care of her. She's not going to end up taking care of you. So a woman saying she don't want me to take care of it ain't finna bother me at all. You just a bill I don't need to pay. Did you catch that, gentlemen? You're just a bill I don't need to pay. Because all women come with bills. You can't be in a relationship with a woman and there's no bills. Okay? Heck, even if you just on some friends with benefit stuff, it still take time. Time is money. You got to lose out on something to even do that. Okay? But to be in a relationship with a woman, it's going to cost you some money. Question is how little or how much, but it's going to cost you. Because women don't want to take care of men. It just is what it is. That's why y'all see the women who even try to get a man in their situation. Well, yeah, I'm working and he ain't got no job. He just a Pookie. I'm going to bring Pookie into the house. But what she want Pookie to do? After so long, she want Pookie to take over and start paying the bills. And she want Pookie to go get a job. She want Pookie to go be somebody so she can say, I made Pookie what he is and Pookie owe me, but I don't want to take care of Pookie. And that's why Pookies have a hard time being in a relationship after a few years done went by. Because her offering him to come in was her way of quote unquote trying to nab him. But after she believes she has him, he's supposed to take over and start doing the stuff himself. He's supposed to take over her bills. And now she always gets to say, well, I made you who you are. So you can't leave me and you got to do everything I say because I made you who you are. And unfortunately for her, it don't work that way. Because Pookie gonna stay Pookie and not worry about you like that. Or Pookie may change into a productive man, but he's gonna outgrow you. And then once he outgrows you, he gotta leave anyway. And that's the woman's fault that she didn't grow. If you see Pookie growing, she should have been growing. But most of them ain't gonna do that. And they're gonna get left behind. And then they're gonna have a woman talking about, well, this man, he came and took advantage of me. It wasn't his fault you didn't grow. He actually was trying to do so. Okay. You came across that rare Pookie who was gonna do something and be somebody, and you didn't take advantage of it. And I'm supposed to feel bad for you? Nah, that don't make no sense to me. Okay. That don't make no sense to me. Now the thing is, Pookie done left her. The former Pookie who done got himself together, now he's a creep. He wasn't a creep when he was a bum. You know, he wasn't a creep when he was all up in them guts. But now the man done got a job of some kind, done start, getting on his mission the way he's supposed to. The man done start grinding and getting results, and now he a creep? Nah. Okay. But that's how women will look at men. He's a creep. Yeah, he was all up in them guts though, wasn't he? Shout out to the liquor creep. A fine name for this particular episode. He says, yes, Roger, we care entirely too much of what black women think or feel. They rolled the dice and tried to date interracially, and they have now come to a reckoning that no one except black men take them seriously. Well, the liquor creep, I'm sure there's a few of them who come to that understanding. I'm not going to say the majority of them have. Okay. There are a few of them who have come to that understanding. But hey, that's on them at the end of the day. That's on them. Okay. And they're going to have to suffer with it as long as they need to suffer with it for them to catch a clue. Now I'm going to say shout out to Dominic D. I'm going to read this. I just happen to see there's a question mark at the end. So let's read what Dominic D says, because they're newer around here. I don't remember their name. So shout out to Dominic D. Dominic D says, wouldn't a woman's experience with men, though not a lot, cause her to think that way? Well, this is the thing. You can partially say it's her experience, but her experience is defined by her. It's not defined is not defined by the actual events. You got to understand the difference. Her experience is defined by her, not the actual events. Just like I just spent that time explaining that if women go out in a group of 4, she would start calling men creeps if she's consistently picked last. Now, think about that. Did the experience really make her form the opinion that guys are creeps? Or is it how she interpreted her experience that ain't got nothing to do with the men? She was picked 4th because she's the 4th most attractive. Now she's saying men are creeps because she is the 4th most attractive in the group she happened to go out with. That has nothing to do with me. She could have went out with a different group of women where she was the most attractive of that particular group. But no, she want to go with these other 3 women that look better than her. That's her fault. Men ain't got nothing to do with that. You know, and I'm not, Dominic D, I'm not saying you're not asking a legitimate question. Maybe that's how you think, you know, but you ask a question where you're really trying to blame men for what some woman did. Okay. You're saying, wouldn't a woman's experience with men, though not a lot, cause her to think that way? Her experience, however she had an experience and how she interpreted the experience, is on her. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. You know what? But see, this happens because a lot of women don't understand they losers. And because women don't understand they losers, because people are always trying to big them up for stuff that ain't even worth talking about, women don't know how to make adjustments. Well, I ain't gonna say they don't know how to make adjustments. They choose to be too stupid to make an adjustment. Because let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it real. See, as men, if I go out with a group of guys and I'm always failing, okay, then what would I do? I would look for clues to put myself in a better light because I want to win. Now, if I happen to be with some guys that's winning too, let's say I'm the guy that every time I try to talk to women, nothing was happening. But I'm with 3 friends on a regular basis. We all go out together. All 3 of them can pull somebody, but I can't pull nobody. If that's happening consistently, a man, this is what a man usually gonna do that's different from women. A man will start talking to the other brother like, how come y'all keep coming up and I don't? You see that? He could do that with his friends. He might go to his father. Yeah, man, we go out consistently every week, and the other guys, they come up on something, but I ain't really coming up on nothing. What you think would help? Or this is the huge thing that a lot of women won't do. A man would actually look at himself in the mirror and say, okay, I see certain things about myself that I need to change. This will probably help me get a better result. There's literally men who change how they dress. There's men who change how they talk. Some men would change their hairstyles. You know, maybe he was clean cut. Then he started growing some locks. Maybe he had some locks. He might cut his hair and start going clean cut. He gonna do something. But women just keep on doing the same thing, and then they trying to figure out a way to how to blame the rest of the world for their poor results. Look, as a woman, it is your job. Now I don't know if Dominic D is a woman or not, because the question don't mean it is a woman, and nor does the name Dominic. I know men and women named Dominic. Okay. But the thing is, she can feel how she want to feel. That's on her at the end of the day. Everybody get to feel how they want to feel. But reality is still reality, regardless of how you feel about reality. It ain't on the men. Okay. A lot of women think men are creeps because they do not get good results with men. And they cause their own bad results. And they think men are creeps because of it. Because a creep is something I've told y'all women like to do all the time. They try to use undefined terms because they like to keep everything ambiguous because they don't like to be held accountable. So they like to do stuff in ambiguous ways. Because if you think about it, y'all, what's an actual creep? When it comes to men, there's no actual definition of a creep. Women use creep for all kinds of stuff. Now, you can look up the word in the dictionary and find what creeping means, or creep mean has no context to men, I'm sure. But there is no defined creep. That's why women use it so much. Okay? Now, shout out to Trail Bentley. Now, he says creep equals a nigga she doesn't want talking to her. Sometimes that is the definition of creep, but the way women will use it. But it's also the men she want to talk to her that won't do it. They're creeps too. I'm not saying Trail Bentley is wrong, because Trail Bentley has a point. That's the more obvious creep that I think people will see. The guy she don't want talking to her. He's a creep. But it's also the men she want to talk to her that won't do it. Think about that. See, and a lot of guys, we don't think about that. A lot of men are creeps because you won't talk to women. There are women who want to be talked to. They want to be approached. They see you. You don't talk to her. So you a creep too. And guess what? You don't even know you a creep. Trail, it's a bunch of women out there you a creep to. Because you was doing what you was doing. You wasn't paying no attention to her. And now you a creep. You didn't talk to her. So you don't know that you a creep to her, but you a creep. You know, I'm sure it's thousands of women that you have been called a creep by thousands of women, and you don't know nothing about it. Why? Because you went to the bakery to pick up the cake. Okay? That's what you did, and you wasn't talking to no women at the time. So guess what? You went to all these different places that women go to, and you ain't talked to her, and a lot of them think you a creep now. Okay? It was a wedding going on. You was helping. Your job was go pick the cake up. Now you a creep. Okay? And y'all don't laugh at Trail. Because if you say, ah ha ha, he a creep, you know what you did? You went and picked up your child's birthday cake. Okay? Y'all had a cake made. You went to go pick the cake up. And there was women you didn't talk to. You a creep too. It's that simple at the end of the day. Okay? It was an Easter Sunday. You got dressed up, and I'm using Easter for a reason because I know extra dudes go to church on Easter. You got up, got dressed to go to Easter service with grandma. So you got your suit on, you know, you dressed to the nines, and there's plenty of women that saw you and you ain't say nothing to them. You a creep too. Okay? It be some extra ladies in church. You came in there, they saw you as handsome, and you need to talk to somebody. And you know what you did? You left and you was back with them hoes in the street. You a creep. Is what it is. Okay? Is what it is. So, yo, it's easy to say the other men are creeps, but you got to understand you'll creep to somebody too. Okay? You'll creep to somebody too. Every brother that went past somebody and they wanted somebody, and that woman wanted some attention from you and you didn't give it to her. So you a creep too. See, I understand I'm a creep to some women. I just don't care. That's all. I don't owe you all that. Now, what do y'all think inspires women to come to the internet and have a whole thing about you men ain't talk to me enough, or you men ain't talk to me too much? You know, when I was going through videos, listening to women say, don't talk to me in the grocery store, which I was specifically looking for some video. I thought some video had went viral, but I guess I didn't see whatever I thought went viral. So maybe I was just wrong. But I seen women talking about, don't talk to me at the grocery store. If you talk to me at the grocery store, I'm going to go off on you. You know? Check this out, y'all. Dominic D say, are they the same women? Dominic D, does it matter? If some women call you a creep because they didn't want you talking to them, and other women are calling you a creep because she wanted you to talk to her, but you didn't do it, does it make a difference? Think about that. And the truth be told, they are the same women, because there's some women who are going to call a guy a creep because he approached her, and that same women will call other guys creeps because they didn't approach her. So yeah, they are the same women. Think about it, brother. Is that, well, if you're a brother, maybe your sister, is that really that hard to figure out? Of course they the same women. Yes, the same woman is so egotistical that she will call a man a creep for attempting to talk to her. But because she's so egotistical, she will call a man a creep because he didn't talk to her. Of course. One of women's main things are not being consistent. Dig that. I just gave you two different thoughts going in two different directions. Women aren't consistent in a lot of cases. You really think it ain't the same women? It's something women do in general, man. It's something women do in general. Now, y'all, there's a lot of other things going on with women that don't just come out to the forefront, you know, and they call men creeps. Now, I want y'all to, you got to really think about a young girl in this society, okay? They're young girls in this society. These young girls start living a life, and they start doing stuff behind their parents' back. Sometimes it ain't behind their parents' back, but I must give parents a little more credit and say a lot of times it's behind their parents' back, even though the parents should be able to pick up on certain stuff. And this is where it may get testy for men. Y'all have to actually come to the understanding that a lot of young ladies have had experiences with men that were way too old for them. Okay. I told y'all this. My discovery moment was sophomore year in high school when we was having some conversation in the classroom where the women was saying they was messing with all these dudes that was older, because it turned into like a little bragging thing. And the oldest man that supposedly was involved with one of the girls, and it's sophomore year, at the beginning of sophomore year, I believe, she said her boyfriend was 25 years old. Now, you could be different ages, you know, when you're a sophomore. But what sophomore gonna really, I mean, come on, man. You around 14, 15 years old when you're a sophomore. Okay, you're around 14 to 15 years old when you're a sophomore. That's normally what it is. Okay, normally you're a sophomore around 14, 15, depending upon your birthday, possibly a 16 or whatever, you know, but the majority of people ain't gonna be that old. Okay. Now, this is the thing, y'all. As years went on and I started checking into things when it comes to women and girls and all that type of stuff, I've come to find out that it's a whole lot of women who be messing with older dudes. And a lot of women think men are creeps because they like messing with older dudes. See, we don't think about this as men. It don't just come up for us. Okay. But we as men, we all understand we went to high school too. We saw the guys pick the girls up. We saw that. Shout out to Mr. Suge to you. He said, get out of here, Roger. We all know this to be one of the best key secrets of the last 100 years. He said keep. Now I don't believe he meant kept. I believe he meant keep. Shout out to Mr. Suge to you. Okay, shout out to you, brother. Now, yeah, we as young men, you know what I'm saying, as boys growing up, yeah, we saw the guys come to the campus and scoop up the girls that went to school with us. We saw that. But see, as men, we just, or even as boys becoming men, we didn't think much of it. We just know they did it and we left that alone. We didn't think much of it. We was like, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that serious at the end of the day. So we didn't even think about it. But the women continue to think about this type of stuff, y'all. That's what's going on. The women continue to think about this stuff. We let it go, but that was us. They ain't let it go. You know, their whole thing is I can extract a lot of good stuff out some guy that's older than me. It just is what it is. I can extract a lot of good stuff out of a guy that's older than me. And you know what? Those girls went home. They should have got caught, and they didn't get caught. Because a lot of them girls belong or was being raised by a single mother. Now, the thing is, the mother probably figured it out. How could she miss it at the end of the day? When your daughter come back in mini skirts that you didn't buy and she ain't got no job, I mean, come on. When your daughter got a brand new pair of shoes and she ain't got no job, I mean, come on. When your daughter got a cell phone that you didn't buy, I mean, come on. You know, there's a lot of indicators that women have that their daughters are messing with somebody that she ain't supposed to be messing with. But mama let it go. Mama ain't gonna say nothing. Cause if mama say something, then the girl gonna ask her for a cell phone. Mama just letting her mess with some dude who ain't got no business mess with her because mama don't want to buy no cell phone. It just is what it is. Mama ain't trying to buy no cell phone. So I'm gonna let her do her thing with this guy. So I ain't got to get no cell phone. Okay. They can mess around. And y'all, and the thing is, you gotta understand, mama don't think it's a big deal because mama was doing it herself at those ages. See, we done had the wrong context about this stuff for a while. You know, we think it's some major thing, and it's probably because men are punished if they get caught doing stuff like this. But girls, this is a free for all, man. You get your older dude, you know what I'm saying? You give him some you know, a little something, something, and he get you a lot of something, something. And then if women grow up, they want their daughters to do the same thing. Because as a single mother, it's just far cheaper to let random dudes pay for their daughter's lifestyle than for her to pay for her daughter's lifestyle. And she don't want to do it anyway. So why not just let them get out there and mess with guys she ain't got no business messing with? And the thing is, they understand those men are truly creeps in their mind, but they can't accept the responsibility for what they doing. So they're going to just put that on men in general. So I understand a lot of women who will call you a creep is just some woman who was messing with some dude she ain't had no business messing with. You know, and she's going to assume that you're like that too because of who she chooses to be. You know, when you talk about women's projection, you got to understand what it really means for them to truly project. She's going to project that she was one of the men that she gravitated to because she wanted to get stuff out of those men. And let's keep it real, y'all. All of us know somebody when we was young that was messing with some chicks that he ain't had no business messing with. I'm not saying we knew him like he was a friend or something, but you knew of a guy. You saw the guy mess, you know what I'm saying, picking up some girls he was way too old to be picking up. And you knew it was some hanky-panky going on. Maybe you couldn't put your finger on it, but you knew some hanky-panky was going on. You seen a guy like that. But, you know, it wasn't your business. You're a young man. You ain't finna fight the dude or nothing. It just is what it is. I remember that. You know, I remember. It is what it is. And if you couldn't, even if you didn't pay no attention to it, once you got in high school, it was in your face. Because the girls would literally leave school and hop in that dude's car and drive off. And some of them was the girls we like. Let's keep it real, y'all. Some of them girls was the girls we wanted to get up with, but the main reason we can't get up with her is because she messing with some grown man. You was 14, you was 15. She hopped in the car with some dude who not only do he got a car, he got a nice car. Okay, he got a car that he done put some money into. Might be old school, but he got some rims on that thing. He got the speakers bumping in the back. You know, he got a nice car. You know, you still waiting to be old enough to get your license. He already got a nice car, at least for the hood. So it is what it is on that note. But my main man, Tunnel Runner, then came up, so I ain't gonna hold him. Tunnel Runner, you have the floor, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man, doing good. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the brothers that's on this channel that listen, they have been called creeps because you haven't talked to the woman at her right time when she wanted you to talk to her. You can be a creep today and be a hero tomorrow, but for her, she's controlling that status of you. I'm sure I've been called creeps because my wife is younger than me. I'm sure they call me a creep because I won't buy my wife a Gucci belt. They call me a creep because I ain't taking her here or there. But that's what they control what they're saying. But you have to control what you're doing. And they call anybody, if you ain't on their time, they call you a creep. So you just gotta do you.
Hey, well said, brother. Well said. Because what you doing and them calling you a creep usually are far from attachment at all. Okay. And real talk, women only like to call a guy a creep after you know what I'm saying. If she's been with the guy, has had sex with the guy many times, and then the guy somehow separates from her, and then she'll start calling him a creep. Now she may have felt he did something creepy while he was doing it with her, but she don't have no problem with that, so she ain't gonna call him a creep until for some reason they're separated. And that's usually how it goes. So as a man, a woman calling you a creep, I mean, how much weight should you really put in it at the end of the day? You know, it's laughable if you ask me. But I told y'all
Yeah,
before, I don't really care about women's opinions. Just is what it is.
because they want you to be on their timetable. They want you to come when they want you to come. When they want you to be there. They want you to show up when they want you to show up. And that's when they call you a creep because you didn't show up when they wanted you to.
Exactly. But my main man, Shark Sims, done joined us, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him get the mic. You got it, Shark.
With the guan. I'm on my Jamaican stuff right now.
I would say I do not know how to respond to that.
But nah, real talk though, right? My homegirl told me like I got a homegirl bad as a motherfucker. Bad as she could be, right? And we chilling in the crib one time, and I was telling, and she broke it down to me, and she was like, "Yo," and she probably like lived like 3 blocks from me, and she was like, "You know what? How if?" I was like, "Yo, you know," and she was like, "Nah, like I walk 2 blocks and I get like 15 people hollering at me, if not more," and I was like, "Damn!" So it helped me understand what females go through, and the reason why females call us creeps is because dudes is thirsty. And to holler at it, and dudes are thirsty, and a lot of women ain't about anything, and they know they not about anything. So when you hollering at something that you just pulling over your car, you doing U-turns and all that, yeah, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, so the red pill did a lot. The red pill did a lot of honing men's ambitions to an extent. You know what I mean? So it's like now they talking about, oh, men don't holler at us. Yo, dudes are thirsty these days. I'm not saying you, I'm not saying tunnel runner, but dudes are very thirsty. And when females is they put hair on top of their hair, they put nails on top of their nails, they put all kinds of makeup on, so they know they not worthy. And then you still got dudes just doing everything to get to talk to them. Me myself, I look at females creepy if I'm doing all kinds of stuff to make myself look better, and I know I'm not better, and they all over me.
Well, I think you make a good point. Now, my thing is, those women will complain about those men after they done having sex with them, for the most part. I would say that, because yeah, there are thirsty men, but the women be just as thirsty. Because let's keep it real. Have I seen the guy all of a sudden do a U-turn and run up on the girl? Yeah, but a lot of times I see that she get in. You know, so my thing, did he do something that was bad for her? Well, once you got in, no, that means that behavior was good with you. So I'm not saying it don't happen, because I've been seeing that since I was a kid. But I see a lot of those women get in.
I didn't see dudes crash their car looking at a chick that they ain't even gonna get.
Now, that's that's not a smart thing, and I'm not saying stuff like that don't happen. I'm just saying that yeah, women will mess with a dude who's quote unquote creepy by some real definition or something that's really defined in that woman's head. But usually ain't complaining about that guy until he already gone. That's all I'm saying. What you saying is very much a true thing, but I'm gonna say this: I seen these guys turn around. The women usually get in the car. I don't remember too many times where a man pulled over that she didn't get in. And a lot of times they got in quickly, y'all. Because I done seen, now understand when I was a kid, when I was walking places, yeah, I seen them get in the car, but to my estimation, she still got in pretty quick because I'd be waiting on the bus or something myself, and she got in before the bus showed up.
But
Okay.
she's selling that turkey bacon. That's the problem. We
Well,
just talking about regular women like standing on the bus stop sucking on a lollipop, and dudes is just, and it's like, damn, like, who are you? You know what I mean?
well, I'm just saying I didn't see too many women who didn't get in the car. I'm just saying I'm now maybe that is the guys who are aiming. They know they targets, but I ain't really see women not getting in the car, and they got in rather quickly because a lot of times I would be waiting on the bus when I was younger. So I didn't see it when I've been driving, and I seen her get in the car before the light changed. You know
But
what I'm saying? Like how quick? That's pretty
but
quick if you ask
but
me.
but Rod, you talking about when you was younger? I'm talking about now. We and well, I don't want to tell our ages and all that, but we
No, I'm
talking about.
saying now as an older man, I still see a guy hit the U-turn real quick. She still get in fast. And now it could be as fast as me waiting at a red light.
Yeah, that's why you got a lot of black women missing. That's why you got a lot of black women missing, and you got all these missing persons reports because that's what. Yeah, so I could dig what you're saying. I
Yeah,
can't even disagree.
I'm not gonna say it ain't happening, but what I'm gonna say is I don't see women saying no when they pull to the side. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel you.
I did remember I said something one time about I seen a sister who had on a dress, y'all. It wasn't like a mini skirt, it was a dress. I drove past a sister who had on a dress. So I immediately spun the block to go talk to her because I don't really see women in dresses. So
Mm-hmm.
I immediately went. By the time came back around, she was
He was
gone.
gone.
So I I my thing is that man may be thirsty, but they seem to be just as thirsty because I couldn't find no how to hell her. And I specifically looked for her because she had on a dress. Because I'm not used to seeing a woman who ain't at work in downtown Chicago have a dress on. I ain't
Yes.
used to seeing that. And that's just real. Man, I seen a bunch of girls yesterday. It blew my mind. I seen like I saw 3 girls in a dress, but when I got closer, I could tell it was girls. They wasn't women, they was girls.
Copy.
Then I looked at the other side of the street, I seen some other women in some dresses. And I was like, oh, okay, let me spin back to see what's going on. When I got back, it was girls in dresses, and it was women in like mini skirts and all that type of stuff. But it kind of blew my mind to see that many females without pants on in the first place. But obviously the older women were kind of on some hoish stuff already. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? When you could kind of see what was going on and who was what age and all that. But it's just I'm not used to seeing black women in any type of dress unless we at the club. Now I get the mini skirts at the club, but other than that, you got to go to downtown Chicago where they're actually, you know what I'm saying, going to work or something like that. But outside that, you don't really see. I'm gonna say I don't see them in dresses. I just don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I
But
don't care what side of town I'm on. I don't care if I'm in the suburbs or what. I usually do not see black women in dresses unless it's got something to do with work.
peep it, like you said, you seen the younger girls in dresses and the older women in in skirts, right?
Yeah.
These older chicks is creepy.
Oh, I agree with that. I was
They
about to
creepy.
pop out on it. I
They
was about until
creepy.
I seen what the ages really were and who was wearing what. I was about to go there and pop out, come up on something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was on.
You gotta pull up like, baby, I'm Roger and I'm always right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was about to find something to deal with, but when I got a good look at what was going on, it wasn't nothing to deal with.
I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah. But we got Inspired Truth broadcast in the building, so let me go ahead and give him the mic. You got it, Inspire. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. How are you, Raj? Salute to you and salute to the chat. Hopefully, I'm coming through. I got like half of an earpiece in right now.
You got
Boy,
half an earpiece in?
Well, I've got one in. I
All
don't have
right,
the
bet,
other
bet,
in, is
bet.
what I
I
All
would
mean.
say you sound clear as if you had on a whole earpiece, so we good.
Great, great. So when I kind of think about this, I kind of think about like the RP in general. Like we have basically kind of when we think about it, we should really kind of talk about it as like portions of the RP. And then you take a little bit over here, you take a little bit over there, you put it all together, and then you get the truth, which is what the RP actually is. So this kind of to tie this back to the conversation here, a lot of what we talk about here is not necessarily putting so much emphasis on what the women say and put a lot more emphasis on what the women actually do. Like the
Mm.
same chick that's kind of talking all this stuff about creep this, creep that. It's like, okay, well, if this guy is somebody you're attracted to, like, okay, then it's not so creepy for him doing the exact same thing that the guy that you're not attracted to is. And then like you were saying before, like, okay, if they like turn them down or whatever, then suddenly they're a creep. But it's not really actually like real. That same dude says, "Hey, go," and she's gonna go. Like it's it's all a lot of basic fluff that's all about image and the projection of whatever they want to try to project to get what they want. Like that's really where that all kind of comes down to ultimately. Like words are just kind of like tools to manipulate to get the outcome that you want in those cases.
So like they gaslighting, basically.
Oh yeah, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
I could dig it.
Well, dig this. I'm in a store, but I'm not a creep. I holler at a woman, but she doesn't like me. She rejects me, but now I am a creep.
Yeah.
Now, how was I not
Yes.
a creep before I talked to you, but I'm a creep after I talk to you? It don't even make logical sense. Like a creep is a creep is a creep. So if I don't say nothing to you at the store, I'm not a creep. But then if I talk to you, I am a creep, but only because you don't like me. Because if you accept me and I'm not rejected, then somehow I'm not a creep. It's the same action though.
Now, Rod, you got it wrong. If you talk to her, you're a creep. If you don't talk to her, you're a creep.
Well, true, true,
Both.
true. Can't argue with that. Joe can't argue with that. You know, and every woman who wanted me to talk to her, I'm definitely a creep because I got seen talking to the other woman that they ain't want me to talk to. So I'm really a
Exactly.
creep to them.
Yep. So Truth Teller was saying, I mean, Inspired Truth was saying, it's just gaslighting. Like anybody listening to women say these days, you a creep because they don't know what they're talking about. Like you seen a whole bunch of chicks outside, right? And you spent around and there wasn't nobody out there. That's because a dude handsome was coming down the block going the way they was going. And by the time you spent around, he already scooped them up.
I can't say that didn't happen.
That's why you got to do it. That's why you got to do a U-turn. You don't spin the block. You do a U-turn.
I definitely can't say it didn't happen. And I'm gonna say shout out real quick to Gold P because Gold P did send me something Friday afternoon, y'all. The show was already done, but he sent it Friday afternoon. But hey, at the Roger Report Live, the Cash App is always open, y'all. That's $ the Roger Report. Okay, $ the Roger Report. It's always open 24 hours a day. There's never a bad time to send me money, just so y'all know. Okay, never a bad time. Okay. Uh and that's real talk, okay? Yeah, my next 2 days, y'all, I'm gonna use some earnings to take my nephews to go see Superman. Okay, got to take them to see that. They want to
But
see
you
it
ain't
real
take
bad.
them. Oh, you don't love them. You ain't take them to see Superman.
I ain't took them yet. I
You
haven't
don't.
took
You
them
don't
yet.
love them, man. You don't love them.
Nah, I ain't took them yet. We'll probably be going Tuesday, truth be told. You know what I'm saying? Well, Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what's going on. But no. And I'm only taking them because I love them.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, the creep thing is there's a lot of things that go on with creep, and I think some of that stuff we should worry about. Some of that stuff we shouldn't worry about. Now shout out to Emerald Edge 72. He said, Roger, you're not a creep once she finds out you're a millionaire.
Exactly.
You know what? Ain't no creepy millionaires out here, y'all. Ain't that amazing?
Very amazing.
Yeah.
I will say this, like I'm not gonna like buy too much into that whole like creep business, but I do think that there are some things that we can do to mitigate the perception of being considered that. Like instead of kind of like looking or observing endlessly on in, actually say something. And then when you actually say something, instead of doing that whole indirect thing, maybe you might be able to just actually just do direct. Like, do you have a man? Are you married?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Go straight to that. Then you don't have any kind of extra type of, oh hey, he's doing this to get that, or oh there's all this other stuff, but you want to go in this other direction. What does this man actually want from me? Nah, you get straight to the point.
But you know what it is too, Inspired? A
Yeah.
lot of guys ain't got game no more.
Well, I mean, there's some of that, and then there's like all that after post Me Too era stuff that just kind of like
Scared
yeah,
people
it
off.
threw a
Yeah.
whole lot of like sewage, like nasty sewage into the game, man.
Yeah.
And everything evolves, like life evolves, social interactions evolve, the way we interact with people online in person evolves. So the way that dating and mating is going to evolve too, and people going to have to evolve along with that. Like, I mean, honestly speaking, like, I mean, some folk will talk about like, hey, the club scene is dead. The chicks are just kind of like dancing with each other at the club. So, okay, well, now you got to get into another type of game. Like, okay, now you get into that other type of game. And then the online scene really pops and then, Tinder blows up. And then that's the thing to be at. And then later on, it's like, oh, no, that's like not the thing to be at. It's only like the top whatever percentage of guys getting all this whatever. And then so now we have to move to something else. There's always an evolution and you have to evolve with it to be a better hunter.
Yeah, you gotta evolve with the game. Like basketball, when it first started, they was shooting foul shots underhanded. Now now we shooting them shits overhanded. You know what I mean? So I always tell my little homies like, bro, once she moist, you ain't got no choice. And if you can make a female smile and laugh, you in there.
Now I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit because my thing is this: as men, you ain't got to evolve. They like what they like. Once I found out, when I literally heard a woman, this is when I first figured it out, y'all. A woman told me, well, she wasn't even talking to me. I'm sitting there listening to her talk to another woman, and she says,
You was eavesdropping.
No. We was at an event. We was all friends. We was all friends. So we was at an event, one of these talking events, whatever. We check out the other gender and all that type of stuff. But she told a young lady there, she was like, "Yeah, you know how a man will touch your elbow and you'll be creeped out, but then if it's the man you like touch your elbow, it's like the best feeling in the world." See,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I found out that it don't make no difference what you do as a man. It's just her response to you personally is going to determine everything. So my
Yeah.
thing is, ain't no point in involving because unless you the person she wanted to do it, it don't make no difference who you are. So evolve for what? Now,
Well, I think I want to like pick up on that. Like, so we have like aggregate and then we have like individual. That's kind of like more aligned to like the individual interactions. And that's absolutely true.
Wait,
A lot of men really
break the
do waste a
aggregate
lot of.
break the aggregate down for me because I'm slow. I ain't
Okay,
that too fast.
okay, like an aggregate is like the combination of all of the women all together or big groups of women in general that you actively deal with. Like it's basically like talking about the difference between society and an individual person. So it's
Copy.
kind of something like that. So like with individual women, yes, there's individual women that are going to be attracted to you. Then there's individual women that are not going to be attracted to you. And so if and I wanted to circle back in because you made a really good point that a lot of guys really think like, oh, if I just show her who I really am, then I'm this, then I'm that. If you're convincing a woman to to go, then you're already kind of in a hole to begin with. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you do make that chick your chick, you're you're in a deficit. That's not really where you want to be building. You don't want to be building in the basement like that and getting all that flood water flooding you later on down the line. So it's best to rock with people that rock with you, but also it's going to be just a certain percentage of people that rock with you. That's why you have to think about how to act on things in the aggregate, because you're going out to the population to try to find those individuals.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like you gotta learn. You gotta really learn the choosing signals.
Yeah, my thing is women responses to me is gonna have a whole lot to do with my decision making because I just don't care about the girl who don't like me. So if you're not responding as if you like me, I'm gonna question you and get rid of you. And
But
that's just
Rod,
real talk.
you from Chicago? That's home of the Players Ball. We gotta you gotta consider the dudes from Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, it is different if you don't have more exposure to women. I will say that it's very much different if you don't have more exposure. You know, you got to learn certain things, but I've learned that the stuff they tell you count don't actually count, and the stuff they don't tell you count is what counts. Because at the end of the day, if you the right dude, it don't make no difference how you touch them. It just is what it is. You the right dude, you can call her the B word to her face, and she's still gonna be good with
Right
you.
about that.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is I don't listen to them because they lie too much. Now that's just me, y'all. Okay. I'm not saying everybody needs to approach women like that. I'm just saying because I'm old enough and I've seen women in all kinds of scenarios, things where they talk to me, the stories they done told me about what they was doing with their dudes. I know too many dudes and gave me reports about women. I've seen interactions myself, literally in person that had nothing to do with me. And I see them, they lie. And they constantly lie. They lie so much they don't even recognize it as lies.
Yeah.
So I don't believe nothing they really saying at the end of the day. I look at what I see. What can I determine based on what I see?
Yeah,
If
you
I'm
don't
the
listen
right
to
guy and
them.
I touch her, she good. If I'm the wrong guy and I touch her the exact same way, I'm no good. It's that
Like
simple at the end of the day.
you don't listen to what they say. You watch what they do.
Absolutely. And on top of that, like I guess there's another thing to kind of for the people, because not everybody is like on the same page with us or at the level as us. But guys, we kind of tend to act with the idea
You broke up,
We
Rod.
losing you. We're losing. You act with the idea. That's all we heard.
Yeah, that's the last thing we heard. You act with the idea.
All right, well, I'm gonna jump in there until he get back then. Uh, see, this is my thing, y'all. If you approach a lot of women like I have, okay, because I didn't approach plenty of them. I know I went to women and say, "Hey, you look good. Do you have a man?" And then she'll say something like, "You didn't even ask me my name," and I'd be like, "What's your name matter if you got a man?" You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That there are women who took that as like, "Oh, that makes perfect sense." Because what does my name actually matter if I do got a man? And then there's women who act like that don't make sense. Now, the thing is, those women could be available or they're just trying to get extra attention from you. Now, because I'm not there to feed in their need for extra attention, I don't care nothing about that. My thing is how you responding to what I'm asking you. If I want to know if you got a man and you won't tell me, you just ain't the right one. See, I don't really care what she on. I care what I'm on. The woman who likes me, who wants me to do something with her, she's gonna make sure I know she's available for me to do something with. The woman who's not gonna just openly do that, she's a woman who may want some attention from me. She may want to play some games, or she's already taken. At the end of the day, none of that means anything to me. You're worthless to me anyway, so I ain't gonna give you a bunch of time to be worthless to me.
Yeah. If I first three sentences, if you ain't coming, you leave it.
There you go. And
Yeah.
there you go. I ain't got time to fulfill her fantasies. I don't know her like that. Now, if y'all know her like that, y'all want to do it, knock yourselves out. Me, no, I ain't doing it. Inspired Truth, you want to say what you were saying? Because we didn't hear what you said. You might as well do it from the beginning.
all right, am I actually being
Yeah,
heard?
you're
Sound like
good
my
now.
thing
Yeah,
kind of went out.
you good
Good,
now.
good. All right, so
You need to put the whole
good, good. So
earpiece in. You had to have.
So here's what I was
saying
trying to
so.
say, basically, like. So here's what I was trying to say, basically, like guys, we actually mean what we say. Like word is bond, we actually mean it. Like that whole standing on business thing, it's like a point of pride, but it's not actually perceived the same way with the women because of the way that they use their words. The way that they use their words is utilitarian. It's for actually making the world what they want it to be. It's not necessarily for actually holding yourself to a standard and actually accomplishing said goal necessarily. And like we try to like project that onto them, like they are us, they are not us.
Nope, you're right. I could dig it.
Now, shout out to the great potential. He said, Roger, God forbid she says thank you or no thank you. You ain't lying, brother. Because if I say something to you, the only thing you can do for me is say, well, thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm taking or something like that. Like, I'm not trying to have no long conversation if I can't get you nowhere. Yeah, and I know women, they like to be adored. I'm not there to adore you. I'm there to see if I can get a link or not. If I can't get a link, why am I wasting my time adoring you? That makes no sense to me, and I ain't got time for it at the end of the day. But we got
I think you missed another chat though, another super chat though, Raj. Before what's the name did that?
What you talking about?
But I'll find it. Let him come in. I'll find it for you.
Okay, because we got Crevo Jordan, y'all. Lord have mercy. Crevo Jordan. Heck of a name to pick, but yeah, Crevo Jordan. We're going to give him the flow, even though he might be sick or something, but we're going to give him the flow anyway. Go ahead, Crevo Jordan.
Shout out to Roger. Shout out to gentlemen on the panel. On the panel. This is a great topic because at the end of the day, anybody and everybody is a creep based on her feelings, right? If you don't have the right look, if you don't have the right whatever, you're gonna be a creep. And if you have the right ever, you're not gonna be a creep, right? Like I talked about before, right? If you the right dude, she's gonna gnaw on your meat even if you don't shave down there.
Yeah.
Right? Shout out to Bill Belichick, right? 74 years old, 24-year-old piece of snatch. Right? Don't get no better than that. Right? Cocaine in the butt and all. Right? But if I walk over to her, right? What he's worth what? 50 million? I'm not worth 50 million. I'll be a creep. Even though I'm closer to her age than a 74-year-old, but I'm the creep.
No, you're
So
right.
at the end of the day, gentlemen, what is the moral of the story? Stop trying to placate to women.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you go on your first date, wear what you want. If you want to wash your ass, wash your ass. If you don't want to wash your ass, don't do it. Right? Be a creep. Be a creep.
Say be a real creep.
Right. But the thing about it is, man, we need to be comfortable in our own skin.
Yeah,
right? Michael Jordan is the great representation of that. Right? It's the great representation. Because hear me out. When his mom got pumped and dumped, she found this random ass 5-foot nigga. Take care of him, right? Before she was pregnant, he was a creep. After she was pregnant, he's the right nigga. Jordan then gets married to, I don't know her name, right? You know?
And this is all in theory, folks. This is all in theory.
This is fact, right? This is fact, right?
Wait, but Creepo Jordan, how you come up with that name, B?
Well, because Michael Jordan is a creep, right? Michael Jordan got married, right? Before that, he was the right dude, ascended to NBA status. Then when Michael Jordan was hitting these thoughts on the side, he became a creep. Then when she got that 30 million paycheck, he became a real creep because that's when she wanted that divorce, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It works both ways, guys. Just because you got money, you don't think Mackenzie Scott don't think Jeff Bezos is a creep after she got that 35 bill?
Yeah, but like I
Right?
was saying,
Right.
B, or you know how many regular dudes
And
be taking millionaires
right, because you
with
can be a double creep.
pool the housewife messing with the pool boy type of stuff. It's
Yeah.
you just
Like
gotta have
look
the
at
gift of
Cassie,
gab,
right?
fellas. You just
Right?
gotta be
Cassie,
confident in yourself and have the gift of gab and
look at
have
hold
the
on, let me finish up.
my fault.
Cassie thought because it works both ways. Cassie thought Diddy was the man, but after a couple STDs later and
No, so
100
fuck that
parties later and 50 bottles of baby oil, Diddy's a creep now, right?
Let me
Same thing with and like look at Jordan, right? Now Jordan wife, Jordan is 60, she's 40, right? But if he wasn't Michael Jordan, he would be a creep. It works
But
both ways.
but
let me
ain't
oh,
Cassie married to the damn the physical trainer?
Yeah. But
He
yeah.
got
see,
he
the
had
thing
the
about
gift
it
of
is
gab and he
she
had the
has
time to put in.
STDs now. So she has STDs. So a lot of niggas ain't gonna be creeps nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
and
for
let me
that.
say this
I
too. Let me
definitely
say this too. It was never confirmed that Diddy had a STD. I didn't hear nothing about that being confirmed that he ever had a STD. So
Let's stop it. Let's stop it.
now I said I didn't hear that it was confirmed.
Let's stop it,
No,
Roger.
I'm
no,
just
but
Please.
saying
nah,
that does make a difference, man. That does make a
Before
difference.
Roger,
Jordan, you gotta get you like if
Roger.
yeah, it's not confirmed, so you can't
Communicable
just throw it on them.
diseases. We know how communicable diseases work. This nigga had freak offs with baby oil and all types of stuff. Stop it, please.
I mean, yeah,
he could have been strapped up, you
no,
know,
no.
he
I
could have been
mean,
wearing that helmet.
why she dirty? She messing with the other dudes, and she just
Yeah,
watch. When she clean, now he can get back into the picture. That's
but I
all.
heard
Yeah.
he was mixing antibacterial gel with the baby oil, so he might have been good. You gotta give him that much.
That is nigga science right there.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
nigga science.
Let me circle back in on one thing real quick. Like just one thing back to the main topic. Like the deal that the reason that we know that the whole creep thing is just a nonsensical argument that's just for show is because a creep is supposed to be something that's scary. Like, you know, your scary movies. Oh, that's a creepy movie. Oh, that's
Yeah,
a creepy villain, etc. But then at the same time, we know good and well that there's a whole lot of women that actually like scary dudes. Like that's their thing.
yeah.
That's the main
Yeah,
Well,
thing.
love after lockup, love after lockup. You know what I mean? So you know what though? At the end of the day, though, gentlemen, this is what it is, right? The real creeps are the women
Yeah.
because if we break it down, look at the women and that's teaching and the stuff they try to do with little kids for attention. That's
Mhm.
creepy. The fact that you find a guy not attractive, then you find out he's worth a couple million bucks. Now you find him attractive.
That's
That shit
creepy.
is creepy.
Yep.
well, I'm
So
gonna say the
it's
reason they use
projection,
the word
basically.
creep is has a whole lot to do with how they are as a particular person and individual. I just think there's a lot of women are individually creeps. Because yes, uh, it's all kinds of stories out there about how women will sleep with young boys, and sometimes they get the excuse. They be like, "Well, he was really tall, so I just couldn't
Mhm.
help myself." Like he's still 15, though. I mean,
Yo,
That's creepy,
yo,
man.
Raj, it was a teacher who had trains ran on her by the students, and she had them wearing screen masks.
That's pretty creepy.
That's
yeah,
creepy.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
creepy. That's
Uh,
creepy. So it's
That's
all
what.
projection. That we just shooting our shot. You know what I'm saying? Well, not when I shoot my shot, I'm hitting backboard and it's going in swish. But the people that they talking about, it's just a man shooting his shot, and she's not attracted to him, so now he's creepy all of a sudden. You know what I mean? But how many females shoot they shot at men and they look horrible, but we don't call them creepy.
Yeah, heck, those are gonna usually be the only ones that's gonna shoot their shot. The not so nice looking.
The creepy
Oh, and
ones.
Roger, one other thing. If you love your nephews, man, don't take them to see Superman. That thing was crap.
They want to see it, man. I gotta.
Yeah, you gotta take the kid. You know, Roger loves Superman.
So I do myself, but I mean, that's what they want to see. So what I'm supposed to do? You know?
Gotta love the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roger love the kids. Roger always right. So yeah, take them to see it if they want to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna make them feel better, brother. It's gonna make them feel better. But I know why he's saying that. I do know. Uh, yeah, but I do think I honestly believe the reason that women use words like creep is because a lot of them are nasty people. We just don't think about it in those terms. The stuff that women do. All right, y'all think about it, y'all. A woman would mess with a dude for years and years and years and never really liked the dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she was messing with him because he can provide money at the time, and she wanted the money. Y'all think about what goes on in your head if you're willing to have sex for money, because that is something men normally don't do. We don't really allow money to. I mean, we got to be in a pretty desperate situation for to start accepting sex over money, and then it's like, okay, they'll since the guy's providing the lifestyle, they'll try to make it seem like that's okay, but we in this world where that's not necessary anymore. I understand it back in the day when women were not allowed to work in the home. All these centuries ago, when women couldn't work outside the home, the women today ain't never grew up with that, ain't never seen that. Their mamas didn't have to deal with that. Their grandmas didn't have to deal with that. Their great grandmamas didn't have to deal with that. But to this day, they are still sleeping with men for stability, and they don't really even like to do half the time. Is that creepy or not?
Nah, but the ill
Ooh,
part
that one
is,
gets
Roger,
deep.
it's like say like if you feeling like you down on your luck, and not even down on your luck, you just feel like you not that person that you're supposed to be, right? And you doing everything to hide it, and then mad chicks is jumping up on your body talking about, oh hey Roger, how's the Roger report going? You already looking at them like, nah. So that's what women are like. You gotta remember, it's very rare to find a black female who's comfortable with herself. I mean, she's not wearing fake anything.
You could actually get like 5 shows off of that concept that you just dropped just now. Like if you really dig deep into what just happened now. Like so you have the fact that like there's women that want resources and then there's women that want men that are resourceful and there's a whole lot of people and gurus and coaches and stuff like that saying level yourself up and get to be this kick-ass dude and all that stuff. And so you'll have like a both and like it is true that like women will just kind of like go for resources, but then also there's women that are attracted to the lifestyle that the dude provides because of who the dude is, because he's some sort of status symbol, etc. So you have that a lot of confluence of issues coming together all at the same time, and actually kind of like parsing that stuff out gets into something that we really need to actually deal with at some point in time. Uh, so yeah, and there's also the biology of it all. Like the women are still women, even though we tried to push them into this modern era. Everything that we're seeing now is like really like 50 years old, or maybe at the most 60 years old. Like all these different things that try to make like a man like a woman and a woman like a man, and flat genderness, and trying to pretend that all the psychology and biology is all the same is not actually real. That's another thing that we actually try to deal with in RP, is like bringing people back to reality. Like, so when you see a woman that wants a certain type of status but doesn't want to work for it all herself and wants a dude to do it, like there's a biological, physiological, and biochemical reason for some of that stuff.
But you gotta think of it from this angle. You know you're a broke dude, and you got bad chicks all over you. You looking at them like, what are you doing? It's the same thing with them. They know they ain't worth anything. And you got good dudes who didn't earn money and got themselves into better positions, and they're all in. Hey, how you doing? They looking at you because they know who they are. So they're looking at you like,
Like
what are you
lunch,
doing here?
like he's
So it's
lunch.
projection.
Well,
She knows that she ain't worth it. So she gonna call you a creep for trying to mess with somebody who ain't worth nothing, and you worth something. If that makes sense.
I
Sorry
mean,
about that.
I totally get what you're saying. I think that does happen from time to time because a lot
Not
of
from
women
time
don't.
to time. It happens all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it really does because a lot of women never measure out the fact that the guy who's trying to talk to you don't even know who you actually are, and she's putting her whole body of work against him trying to talk to her. And
Bingo.
and my thing is this, y'all. Now let's keep it real. Okay, Whoopi Goldberg got money, right?
Hmm.
Whoopi Goldberg got money. Okay, I don't want to say something too negative about Whoopi, but I'm gonna say that people have accepted her from a Hollywood standpoint as the ugly girl. All right. Now, you could talk to Whoopi for money. You know, you happen to come around Whoopi Goldberg, you can talk to her because she got money. She got lots of
Nah,
money at the end of the day.
use the better examples, Raj. Cause ain't
Well,
nobody hollering at Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm just saying, but that's the whole point. If we was trying to holler at Whoopi Goldberg because she has money, are we creeps or not?
No, but if you just hollering at Whoopi Goldberg because you think she attractive, you a creep because she knows she ain't attractive, and she gonna be looking at you like, what is he doing here?
No, but I mean, I do get that, but my thing is, if you're literally hollering at Whoopi and you do not consider her attractive, okay, if you don't consider her attractive, but you literally hollering at Whoopi, you want to get up in them guts so you can have access to Whoopi's money.
Oh, that's not a creep. That's just smart. That's just being smart.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's
Sound
kind
creepy
of
to me.
Whoopi
yeah,
got
that
that
sounds
bag.
creepy.
You good. If you bang that up, if you hit the bottom on Whoopi Goldberg, you good. You
No,
good.
I know she got the bag, but my thing is, it sounds creepy to me that you want to entertain a woman like that and you're not really interested in her. You know what I'm saying? Now, I get it. She does have the bag, so I do get that. But my thing is, if you're gonna have a sexual relationship with Whoopi Goldberg for an ends to a mean, there's some creep in there.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
I,
lot
really
of it.
being
There's a
dangerous.
lot of it in there.
and that's what I'm saying. Like they know they not it, but we doing U turns to holler at them and all that, and they like they don't even love themselves.
No, I know I do get that, but my point is the fact that that's something women are regular creeps. Women regularly have sex with men and have relationships with men simply to draw things out of men. They're not looking to build with the man. They're not looking to have children with a man. They are looking to just take from a man so they can better their personal situations. Just
I
like
feel
if I was
good.
trying to holler at Whoopi Goldberg simply because she got a bag.
Well, I
I'm not
wouldn't.
Yeah,
talking to Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, I'm not saying this to be insulting to Whoopi Goldberg. I'm just saying, realistically speaking, I'm not going to holler at Whoopi Goldberg. The fact that she's famous or has money does not sway me in any particular way to holler at Whoopi. I just don't find her attractive. I've never liked. I like her as an actor. I will say that she's done some good acting stuff. I like her as an actor. I don't necessarily like some of the stuff that she acts in, but as an actress, she's a pretty good actress.
Well,
Other than that, I don't have nothing good to say about Whoopi Goldberg.
I would say the women increase because there's not as many sex toys for men as there are for women, which automatically proves they're creeps.
I want to pick up on some of this one. This is pretty good because you brought up a good one there with that Whoopi Goldberg analogy. Like, consider this. Like, would you consider a leech creepy? Like a
Mm.
leech that's on your skin,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sucking
Why
your
wouldn't
blood.
it
Is
be?
that
Yeah,
creepy? Yeah.
it's
All
definitely
right.
not pleasant.
So in general, I would think that something that extracts resources and does not provide value is a creep. That's creepy.
Nah,
So
I wouldn't say that because a leech isn't like a leech is that's just nature. That's how God made it. And just like females, God made them as leeches. So I wouldn't say it's creepy. The creepiness is the pervertedness of females and stuff like that. So like they look at us as perverts, but they're more perverted than us.
I mean, they are, but I'm gonna say this: when it came to God, God told them to be a help.
mhm.
That was
And
literally what they're supposed to do is help.
and Roger, they
You
didn't
gotta have
listen
some.
to they
I'm
didn't listen to God after He made them. So
what, but you said that's how God made them. My thing is God made them to be helped. So if you don't help, you're not in that quote unquote godly function. So What
That's
are
creepy.
you if you're not helping?
A creep. I could dig it. I'll agree with y'all. Y'all got it. Y'all got that one. I'm gonna sit my ass down and listen.
All I'm saying is I want some help, brother. If you quote unquote tell me that's what you're here for, to help, I want to see you help me. That's all I'm saying. You know, and to not be interested in the guy, but you're willing to form a relationship with him so you can get your thing done. When you can, just go work for yourself. Like we're not in a world where women don't have the option anymore. See, back in the day, when women would, well, people would pull it up and say, well, women back in the day couldn't do this and they couldn't do that. Well, we don't live in that world anymore. So why they just not doing? Okay. Yeah, back in the day, they couldn't go get a job. They can get one now. Back in the day, they couldn't own the business. They can own one now. So if you don't own a business and you're using the man to take care of you, is there some creeping there if you're not interested in the man? Now, if you interested in the man, I'm not tripping. You interested in him.
Yeah,
Okay. But if you
I
ain't
agree.
interested in him, other than the fact that you're using him to get yourself taken care of, it gotta be some creeping there.
Yeah, that's danger, and dangerous things become creepy.
But I always look at when I look at the word creep as a pervert, and no one's more perverted than women.
I mean, I do get that. And I'm gonna say I'm looking at them as perverts too. Because at the end of the day, I think if you're willing to have sex with a man multiple times for years, just because you don't want to go get a job and you don't even like that guy, that's perverted.
They doing it. They doing it. They are literally doing it even with a job. Like you said we can, yeah. So you know that doctor, that cute doctor lady that's be all over the internet talking all this. She was just talking about she been messing with a nigga for 5 years, and
That
they
Dr. Bryant.
no, you can't say the name on the joint.
Man,
Yeah,
okay.
they ain't been here. We don't want to promote people, but yeah, I know the chick he talking about, and I actually heard something about that myself. I
She's a
heard.
pervert. She's a straight up pervert
I mean, my thing is,
slash creep.
she is a single woman. I don't know what people expected from her. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I thought people was just done for having expectations, the certain expectation they had on her. She is a black woman with no husband, and she's in her 30s. I know what that is. It's a loser.
No, she 40. She 42 years old. She ain't
Well,
in her 30s.
okay, well, she's in her 40s and she's unmarried. She's a loser. I
And
already know
and
what she
she
was. You know,
and she's a creep.
sounds about right to me. Sounds about right to me. You know, and she got a issue even saying certain things about the guy she met, because I know she messed with some guy who's not yet. I might use that for a show or something. I don't know, but at the end of the day, yeah, I mean she doing the stuff that women do at the end of it. You know, I want to position myself here. I want to position myself there. I really don't care about this. So why do I call me a creep? Because I move as a creep, and I want men to be just as bad as I am. I don't think men take it like that. Women are calling us names because they want us to be just as bad as them.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That's you put it in. You put it in a better terminology than I did. So thank you.
Yeah, you know, because we doing what we doing because we trying to get something done at the end of the day. You don't see men going out talking to women and we don't like the women. Now we will talk to a woman, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we usually like something about her. It's her body, something, the way she come across to us, the way she talks to us, could be her quote unquote spirit, you know what I'm saying? The way she's moving. You know, she don't seem like everybody else trying to get something out you. There's something we actually like when it comes to her.
Yeah,
But
I could agree.
women will form a whole relationship, a marriage, and a family with a dude she don't like, and then divorce him 7 years later. I ain't never liked him in the first place.
Yep, you right.
That kind of reminds me of like the characters on Game of Thrones, the ones that were in the that Assassin's Guild that will wear other people's faces and stuff. Like a whole fake face, you don't know who you're dealing with.
Oh damn, you done went deep on it right there.
Well, my
You
thing
were
is,
in on that one. Yeah, damn.
when
Shoot.
you have women who are creeps, to me, it's just a matter of time before they call you a creep. You know, So I honestly think the women who call men creeps are probably just like the women who have sex with minors. Yeah, I do believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's too many men that done told me they first sexual experience was with some grown woman when they was a minor.
Yep.
That I started checking. I did a show about this stuff, and then you know what I'm saying. And I had a situation where when I started talking to certain guys I knew, they was telling me about these sexual experience they had with grown women. It was like 5 or 6 of them or something that told me about it to the point that I felt left out. That my first sexual experience was not with a grown woman.
No,
You
Roger,
know?
real talk. 99% of men who lost their virginity, it was to an older woman, or older person.
And that don't make no sense to me. Now I'm not gonna say you wrong because according to the men I've had this conversation with, yeah, a lot of them is telling me it was some grown woman that they didn't have no business being with.
And even if it wasn't a grown woman, if you lost your virginity at 13, I, more than likely, Shorty was 16, 17.
Well,
Or you
16,
might have
17 are
some.
still minors, so I can't really say that's bad. They still minors at the end of it. It's minor
She's
on minor.
she she's still on another level than you. 16, 7, you
I'm
13, and she on a different level. She
no,
didn't.
I get what you're saying, but minors are minors at the end of the day. And an
I kind
18-year-old guy or they got they call it something like the Juliet law or the Romeo and Juliet law. If
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
like could have been in high school together, it's like a 5 year or less gap. It's still considered cool. So if it ain't illegal, I ain't tripping. That's just what you think of the particular person, their maturity, and all that type of stuff. Minor on minor, I ain't saying nothing about. But the
copy.
guys who are talking to me, they're not talking minor on minor. They're talking about grown women who they had no business being with.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
these
even
women are initiating this stuff.
and even when it's not one of those grown women, it's going to a lot of the times be a woman, a girl that was dealing with older guys. So then you're still kind of dealing with people that are dealing with kind of adult experiences, dealing with somebody that's, a guy that's not so much that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
done
a
It,
let
good
some
shot.
I done
nine
let
times
some
out of
bad
ten,
chicks
nine times
go.
out of ten, it's a older girl turning a younger boy out.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I done let some bad chicks go because I had hit 18 and they wasn't adults yet. And I didn't know about the Juliet law or whatever. I just let it go because I wasn't at the right age. And if I can let it go and I'm just 18, I know other people could too. You know what I'm saying? Just is what it is on that note. I'm not saying everybody gonna make good decisions all the time. I done made some poor decisions at certain times too. I ain't saying I was the most mature 18-year-old. I just know it was a super bad chick I had to let go. Cause in my mind, the fact that I turned 18 and she was not, I just couldn't go through with it. Now I went over there to make something happen, but stuff got interrupted. But I never went back after that. I let it go, man.
Because you wasn't a creep.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'd known about that Romeo and Juliet, we'd had a different outcome. But it is what it is. But that's why I'm saying I think the reason that men are viewed as creeps, it's not actually anything to do with men. Women know who they are, and they are looking at us and they're thinking in their terms. You know, I know I'm a creep, but I can't come out and say I'm a creep. So I got to say you a creep. And that's
Yep.
all it comes down to at the end of the day. You know,
Doesn't that sound like middle school? Doesn't that sound just like middle school or elementary or something?
I mean, it does. You know, but when you have women online talking about a guy shouldn't talk to me at the grocery store, but you say you don't want every dude look trying to get at you just for sex. My thing is they eliminated so many places, but you know what they never say? They never say don't talk to me when I'm at the club. And
Yeah.
we all know what we talking to each other for at the club. The
Well,
club is specifically designed so you can find a place to have a person to have sex with. That's what the club is literally for.
That's a diabolical point you just made right there, Roger. Damn.
well, here's the thing. Like even in the clubs now, like one of the reasons that the clubs did, you have like the chicks all dancing with themselves. They want the guys they want. They end up with a whole lot of of dead club scene because guys just it ain't freaking working for them. Like it's gotten stupid, like really dumb to the point where it's just kind of like being like a drink buying, uh, absent thing, just filling the space. So basically, there's reasons why it's the juice ain't worth the squeeze on the club end so much. Still get something, but it's kind of different for other people.
But let's keep it real. They was already dancing with each other beforehand. When the men were
Mhm.
more active at the club, they was already dancing with each other. But
What's
they
that
were
again?
dissing men. That's why they started dancing with each other in the first place. You know?
Yeah, and yeah, it's yeah, yeah, it it's just diabolical out here right now. You got
Um,
perverts calling men. You got straight up perverts calling regular people creepy. And they go home, they got all kinds of dildos and sex toys in their crib. Ain't how many niggas you know with all kinds of sex toys in they none.
I mean, that's a good point. That is a good point because
That's
you ain't
creepy.
go.
You got a whole box in the closet of all kinds of wild stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what about those books that they like? I mean, those crazy, outlandish novels, if you want to call them novels,
Well,
that
50
gets
Shades of
creepy.
Grey and all of that stuff.
well,
50 Shades of Grey and Beyond.
I gotta say, I did buy that Zane book that time because
What's that?
everybody was talking about Zane, Zane this, Zane that. I'm like,
Oh
really?
man.
This
Oh,
guy
yo,
got to be
porn.
incredible.
They
He got to
creeps.
be incredible. When I bought the book,
They
you
creeps.
know, read the first story, probably like half of the second story. And I'm like, okay, I know what this is. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I thought it was like a real author doing real stuff and all that. And I'm over
No.
here reading about a sex fantasy about some slave and the white sex master and all that type of stuff. I forget the second one was about, but it was something too creepy because it was talking about some brother sister stuff. Well, what is this? What everybody talking about? You know,
Oh, they love it. Oh, do they love it.
you know. So and to me that was crazy that everybody was talking about those books and to see what the book actually was. That's insane. You know, to me anyway, that was insane. You know,
Yeah.
you hearing about this author, everybody keep talking about, and then the first story in there is some woman who was a slave having fantasy sex with the master.
Mm-hmm.
This what y'all raving about?
Yeah, that those Zane books they did very, very well. That you are not exaggerating. You are people were into that deep. They were into it heavy.
And they say now they say women watch more corn videos than men.
I mean, that don't surprise me at all. And you know, shout out to Afro American. He say they got Roger. Yeah, they got me because you know what? I mean, it was a long time ago, but that's how I know you got to pay attention to details. Everybody was talking about what kind of great author the dude was, but when I think about it, did anybody really say what the stuff was about? And they kept talking about how great an author he was. And I can't say at this point. Maybe they did, but I can't say at this point I ever remember them saying what the stuff was about. So I just went in there blind and I bought the book. I didn't go to the library and pick nothing out, y'all. I bought the book. I got robbed. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? A self robbery. I robbed myself because I went somewhere to pick this book up. You know, this ain't back in the day. I mean, this ain't today, y'all. I had to go to the mall to pick the book up and spend money. I wasted time and money on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That was like little literary porn.
Yeah, that's all it was at the end of the day. You know, and I used to think women was on something because you know you get on I used to work downtown Chicago. I used to always try to work in downtown Chicago, so I used to see women reading books and whatnot, like on the train or whatever. And now I think, you know, based on how women have talked and things like that, I used to think women was like really reading something. Now I
You
just
thought they were
figure,
cultured. You're so cultured.
yeah, exactly. Like I thought they was on their money, man.
Nope.
Now I just assume it's a book about sex if I see a woman reading on the train. Not that I
Exactly.
read the train, but the women who doing it, I just assume it's a nonsense book probably about sex. Real talk.
And why is that? Because they creeps and they just projecting. When they call you a creep, they just projecting.
Yeah, and my thing is, when men are actual creeps, they're fans of those men. That's the crazy part right there. They're fans of those men because they do sleep with men who try to mess with girls way too young. They do sleep with men for money. They sleep with men doing all kinds of whatever you might say is creepy scenarios. It's been so many men who done got caught up in a news story, and they say something about they'll say something about a man was having sex with the kids, and who brought the man in there? Their mama.
Their mama, yeah.
You know, and I don't even think it'd be an issue, truth be told, that it was found out that the man was having sex with his daughter. I think the issue would be the fact that it went public to the children. You know, because when it's considered private, and I've done shows in the past where we had women who they'll tape stuff or whatever, tape they arguing with mama. So unless it's getting out there, it's like it's not a real issue for mama. It's only that mama has to protect her reputation. So if I let the world know that it's cool with me that my daughter is getting hemmed up in the bedroom every night by my quote unquote boyfriend, I look bad at that point. But as long as it's not directly in my face, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, those stories are sad. Some of those stories are real sad.
Yeah, very, very sad.
Yeah, but now I'm gonna say what we did do a show like that. Black Guru made a good point about the fact that, you know, if a woman's in the household and she at a certain age, that's a natural thing to occur. So mama shouldn't be having dude over there in the first place. So, and my thing is, if you're not an adult, I always blame mama. Now, once if the child is across the age of being an adult, then it just is what it is at that point. You know what I'm saying? You just told your daughter not to get down so much, or, you know, you work in your system. You know what I'm saying? You knew your daughter would keep him there, so he'll keep paying bills. Now, I ain't gonna act like that ain't going on either.
That's mostly what's going on a lot of times too.
Now, the thing is, if you are a woman and you participate in this type of stuff, and you talk to all these other women that participate in all this creepy type stuff, whatever version of creep they participate in, it's going to be natural for you to say men are creeps because you hang out with creepy men. That's your thing. You know, it's like having a man who abuses you. Women will say all day long that men are wrong for abusing them, but they literally go home, lock a door that locks them in with the monster and locks the world out, get beat up, and then say there's something wrong with the man. When last time y'all locked yourself in a room with a light?
Yeah. They got whole websites just to holler at dudes in jail and stuff. Like they're wild. That's why I said it's all projection. They the biggest creeps of all time.
I really think it's the reason they call men creeps is because of themselves and the type of men that they like. I think that's the honest issue, and the fact that a lot of them, which we don't want to think about, a lot of women, we really don't want to accept it, but a lot of them done had sex with younger boys, and we just don't want to believe they did it.
Yeah,
because these men ain't coming up with all these stories out of nowhere. That's all I'm saying, y'all. If you talk to men, ask him, did he ever have sex with an older woman before he hit his 18th birthday? And see what the man tell you. Now, if you done it yourself, that's cool. You did it yourself. Ask other men, though, and see if they done it. Now, again, when I start asking people about it, now this is a random group of guys the first time it happened, and everybody telling me, oh, yeah, my mama best friend broke me in. You know, I was hearing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She was bad, Joe. She came up on me. You know, now I've had a brother on one of my earlier channels. He said that it was happening to him, and he wasn't into it. He was still in his mind. He was still young to be doing all that type of stuff. So it creeped him out, but it happened to him too. See what I'm saying? It's like a lot of men say this stuff has happened to them. So
yes,
What these creeps coming from? These women, they are involved in creepy behavior, so they're calling me a creep. Go ahead, Inspired.
I was just going to say that it's kind of funny the way that things work there because you have both the women using rhetorical devices to try to clean up and improve their image, but then at the same time, a lot of the times you have us men that try to save their image too. It's a both and type of scenario.
You gotta talk into the
It's,
mic.
oh, I'm not able to be heard?
No, I heard it. I
Oh,
heard
right. My fault.
it. Okay.
Okay, I
But
was just saying that it's a both and that both the women use words, rhetorical devices to shield and save their image, but then also you have the men, us men, to try to save their image too, and we consider that noble, we consider that honorable, we consider it all those things, but at the same time, it's at the expense of the progress of the society and the well-being of the group.
Yeah.
well, and I think the for the well-being of the group, we as men got to start acknowledging the truth. Okay. Unfortunately, we have a big a big clique of women out here. They're just creepy. So you got to think about it. Why does some random woman get on the internet and say y'all are creeps for trying to talk to me at the grocery store?
Because she's a creep.
More than likely, that's all it is at the end of the day. Because how come she don't want you to talk to her at the grocery store? What place beside the club do you want a man to talk to you?
Yeah. Yeah, all that comes back down to like that using rhetorical devices for image. So you have this person that like it looks like a model when you're at the club at night, and then you take it out to the daylights, and it's the Crypt Keeper.
Mm-hmm. And when stuff is going on with the women and they messing with kids, they always try to frame this stuff like like it's somehow not their fault. And I just started asking women like, well, did you ever tell the child's father? And the answer always no. And I'd be like, well, if somebody is molesting, let's say I believe your story. Let's, for the sake of argument, I believe you. I believe everything you said. So you mean to tell me some guy was molesting some girl who's a minor, and you didn't tell that minor's dad? Now, why would you not tell her dad? And let's keep it real, because they didn't want the dad to get in there and handle that. That's the only way that happens. You know about it, and you don't tell the dad. You like the situation going on for whatever the reasons are, and more than likely, you're talking about a single mother, and the guy who's quote unquote molesting the child is paying for stuff, and you don't want to pay for stuff. I've it's a bad thing, but I've had to come to the understanding. Black women don't like paying for their children. It's almost offensive to them to pay for their children. So if you could have a creep in your household and not pay for your kids, are you going to choose that first? Well, it seems like a lot of them will. And that's just real talk. It's an unfortunate thing, but that seems to be the reality of the actual situation. It's a very unfortunate thing, but it does seem to be reality.
It's interesting seeing propaganda meet reality sometimes like that. That whole strong, independent, I could do it myself, yada yada, superwoman type thing. Then when it meets reality and biology and all of those other things, it's like, yeah, but I don't really want to do that though. Like I know I said all that rah rah and all that, but like actually taking out the energy to do that stuff, I don't know so much now.
Yeah. And I remember women was telling me, don't you when y'all having like an event or like a party or whatever, don't y'all have it's the uncle that can't go upstairs where the kids at? And I was like, nah, I ain't never heard about this uncle. What are you talking about? It don't make sense to me. Well, nah, it's always the guy who y'all can't leave him around the kids. No, I've never had to live in a world where we had a guy around us that you couldn't leave the kids around. That's not a world I know about. I believe you, but that's not how it was. But I grew up, I didn't have no uncle I couldn't quote unquote be around. Okay. Now, I understand things better now. So now I understand this uncle that was around, he wasn't actually an uncle. He was just hitting a one or more women in the family. He wasn't no uncle. Some women in the family just like dirty dudes or creepy dudes or whatever. So they're gonna sleep with him and they're gonna bring him around the family. That's all that's really happening out here. They like bringing outsiders who shouldn't be around kids. Or why would you ever have a rule like that?
Yeah, there's definitely something to that. On top of that, there's this whole idea and this concept of being on code. Like, if the majority of the family knows not to have this dude around, and somebody still is inviting this dude around, that's a problem. You got to get those off code people to either get in line or you're gonna get shunned.
Well, my thing is because the family is ran by women, they are on code. That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? And they world, that was the type of dudes you mess with.
When you do what you do, you get what you get.
Yeah. But you got to blame it on somebody else because in case anything ever comes out, you can't be acting like you can't say it's your fault because that don't protect black women's image. And I've said, many a time, black women care about their image more than anything.
Yeah. And then
It
when
just
you
is what
have
it
to
is.
do that, when you do try to protect your image, and you end up using a scapegoat to sacrifice for those sins.
Yeah. To me, the fact that to even hear about people talking about keep this particular person away from the kids, it sounds crazy in a nutshell to me. Because like Joe, we grown. Why we gotta do extra stuff? It don't even sound right to me. And if we got to keep them away from the crib, why we invite them in the first place? We trying to have a party. We trying to have a good time. You're around family and friends. You're supposed to be able to be comfortable and relax. And there's some families where people do a lot of drinking. I ain't saying it's good, but I'm saying this is the real world. There's some families where people do a lot of drinking. You go to a family event, some men like to, kick back, throw their feet up, watch a game, drink, more than a few beers because they're around family. They like, I can be relaxed over here. I'm not going to get robbed if I get drunk over here. You're supposed to be able to do stuff like that. Now, how can you be comfortable and you got to worry about Uncle so-and-so touching the kids? That don't even make sense to me.
You absolutely can't. It's like, why should we go and walk across this rickety bridge when we could just take a flight or we can just take the ship across? Like, there's a better way to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Sugar D. He said, the false sense of moral superiority rearing its ugly head once again. Hey, man, that might be what the situation is, but I'm thinking, because I'm a normal human being, if men go around their family and you a drinker, you a smoker, you got people who smoke weed and all that type of stuff, you do that stuff around where you're comfortable so nobody robs you. That's just real talk, because I remember you go to people's places or whatever, and that was like parts that the kids can't go to. Like, sometimes you can have a party, whatever, but the kids ain't allowed to go into the garage. And that might be because people might be smoking in the garage. It could be regular smoke, it could be weed smoke, but the kids ain't allowed around that particular activity. Or maybe they playing cards or gambling or something or whatever. People do things for fun at the end of the day. And the kids are not allowed to be in that area, but they can do it because ain't nothing finna happen to anybody because everybody here is supposed to be cool. So I don't see why it don't make sense for me to believe a bunch of men gonna get in a situation where everybody can't be cool. That's not a man thing. Men don't like being in uncomfortable situations. Men like comfort. We may not say it in those terms, but if you listen to even right now, you got a lot of people talking about men want peace. That means they want to be comfortable. I don't want to have to have my head on a swivel 24 hours a day. And if I come home, I shouldn't have to be looking over my shoulder at the people I live with. And and men, we are more prone to throw even a child out if necessary. Why? Because we don't want to have to look over our shoulder at home. If some child gets too out of pocket, we are quicker to put a child out because we got to protect the other children. get away with being the bad example, they're going to influence the other children.
It's facts. I mean, one of the main things that men go to war for, like go full on to war for, is just for peace.
Exactly. Just a right to not be bothered. you know. Now, shout out to Gregory Scotland. He says, hey, Roger, Black women do protect their image of being so-called good mothers, which is a key reason many don't like to let a child be adopted that they can't handle. Well, I think, I'm not going to even say, I think the main reason, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I think the main reason they don't want a child to be adopted because they rather get child support money or whatever the government assistance is when they have a child. I don't think women like to let their money go. Real talk. No matter what the kids suffer through, if they can't collect something off that kid, yeah. Because you know what you don't really hear? You don't really hear about women who have a child that ain't getting nothing. You don't really hear nothing about those women. Now I'm not saying you should hear about them more, because if they really don't care that women are, that they're not getting some money from a child, why would they be loud about it or whatever the case is? But just think about it in your normal life. Do you know any women who have children and you know good and well they ain't getting nothing for them kids and they ain't never complaining about it? Because that's something I don't really see. Just real talk. I don't see a bunch of single mothers just in a good shape because they got a kid by themselves and they ain't got no complaints. Because I've never seen men complain about kids unless you bring it up. Now, I'm just keep it real. I've seen the man complain about children, but he ain't usually the person who brought it up. Somebody else brought it up, then he'll say something. But they just go about their business. That's the normal routine for the men who do raise the kid. They just go about their business. And I've heard too many men, even when it was brought up, they just be like, man, don't even worry about it. I got it. It ain't even worth the fight. I hear all kinds of stuff like that. It ain't even that serious. I got it. My kid's going to be fine. So I do think a lot of women just are creeps. So they just simply label men creeps because they are creepy. And when you can marry a man that you don't love at all and try to get into a good situation, and then, you 7 years in, then you divorce him because you got the kids, and now you think, well, he gonna have to take care of me and these kids. Child a little creepy to me, man.
Sounds like Body Snatchers or something like off one of the movies, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me up. I'm gonna try to catch the next one too. That looks like a fire topic as well.
I'm putting up stuff too early. I ain't supposed. Nah, I ain't supposed to know the fire I'm supposed to bring. But I'm sure it will be. And I guess I'm finna get ready to close it out because I ain't got that much more to say, and we ain't had that many people come up today, which is fine. The Roger Report Live don't have to go 3 hours. I do make it 3 hours so other people will have time to express themselves. But y'all, I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna close it out with, I think the reason that men are called creeps is, I believe it's happening by creepy women. If the woman's calling the man a creep, she's probably a creep herself. Okay. Now I'm gonna say that. Now I'm not gonna say you throw that on particularly a content creator. There's a small chance a content creator may do that without being that way. But a lot of women who create content, they really do be self-focused. So I can't say it's not them, but I'm gonna try to give them a little bit of grace. Because if you like me, you're gonna go into all type of stuff or whatever. But a lot of women, they do keep stuff on themselves. But in general, I think the women who are calling men creeps are just creeps themselves, and they've done a lot of creepy things. So therefore, they're gonna say you're a creep because they're not gonna let you be better than them in their own mind. And that'll do it for me, y'all. It's been great. I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all day. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right, and I'm out.
Yay, yay.